Welcome to Love Byte.
My wife of almost 9 years and my partner of 12 years recently lost her father. She hasn't been the same mentally since then, and I caught her having an online affair with some guy halfway across the world. It had gone on for only a week when I caught her in March, and she said she would stop and said we needed some time apart. I was sleeping on the couch and limiting contact, mainly because I can't stay anywhere else and a motel stay indefinitely would be too costly here. During that time, she ended up talking to him again for another 3 to 4 weeks. During that time, she shared things we had with him, including my nicknames for her, the names of kids we'd picked, and some other things that were ours. The sexting between them hurts the least, as these other things cut much deeper. She finally warmed up to me, and things were better between us. But 4 days into the good phase, I found out she had been talking to him during those 3 to 4 weeks I was on the couch, and she said she needed space. Even though things were looking up for us, she stopped talking to him. I still exploded because I found out how she was still talking to him, shared our life with him, and things are rocky again. I believe she is done with it. She said her mental health is feeling better and she feels in control, and I believe her. She seems to be better and calmer. I am still really hurt, though, and having a hard time processing things. I love her so much and know I'll forgive her. But a part of me also feels like I deserve some things to get past this and also to be able to trust her again. I didn't want to keep an eye on her phone and other things she suggested. I never wanted to be that sort of husband. She said she will also seek therapy to help her get past her loss of her father, which has been really affecting her head. She said her reason for the affair was a fantasy to escape the real life she's in, which has been really hard. So, does anyone have any advice on how I can move forward and start healing properly? She said she is willing to see a lawyer and write up something where I get all of her assets as well as shift all of ours to my name. The apartment, car, savings, stocks, everything. And she has a considerable amount of savings from before we met. Her family is upper middle class to basically loaded at their peak, and I've always been a working class guy. I don't want to sound murderous, but she will also change her life insurance policy so it all comes to me and not split with her family. Giving me basically everything does make me feel like she's trying. I have full access to everything. I didn't ask for it. She has offered it up since the day I confronted her, last Thursday. There has also been no contact. I made sure of it. I went on her app and we both texted really fucked up things and told her AP that it was never real, and in fact, she and I were messaging him as a cruel joke. He seemed to have believed it, and all contact was cut from both ends. And because I've been with her the whole time and have access to everything, I don't see any way for her to reach out to him and say, "Wasn't me." Also, even before I found out and confronted her, she cut contact with him to fix things with us. She's been offering up ways to make things right, and I think I've been so angry that I'm rejecting a lot of them just to be a dick and make her work harder about it. But she has been trying. My mother-in-law lives with us, and she's been supportive of me and condemning her the whole time. She knew about it the first time. She knows about it now. She cried, saying she had failed as a mother. It's been nice to have that support from her. Also, because she lives with us, I can confidently say there have never been any physical affairs. I haven't been on the couch the past 9 days, but I did find out that prior to letting me back, she was still in contact with him. My wife works from home, so there was never any physical contact with him or anyone else. Really. I know I sound naive, but before her personality shift, we were really happy and did everything together, so we didn't have physical time apart, so there was no way of physical cheating, at least not before. The first time I found out was because I always had access to her phone. I know her passwords and stuff. I always joked around by taking her phone and sending myself a dumb text and claiming it was her, fully jokingly, and she knew, or drawing doodles on her notepad app. But that time when I opened her phone, I saw an unread message from him on WhatsApp, and the preview was enough to get me curious. We know all of each other's friends, and almost all of our current friends are from after we started dating. So a new name drew alarms. AP is definitely halfway across the world. She met him on an app called Slow that she installed to talk to people in other countries. She made some friends there, but only this guy was very pushy and overly friendly. He paid a premium on the app to actually message her without waiting. Normally the messages take days to send, like snail mail. That's the charm of the app. I had read all of her messages on there with everyone as well. After deleting the app, She continued talking to AP and two others, but they were friendly. She stopped talking to them when I asked. I'm sure I'll get roasted for this, but after the first time, I reached out to her AP and caught him. I wanted to show her that he talks like that to everyone, and she shouldn't feel special. So a bit before this second time, while I was still on the couch, I contacted him and started a relationship, and he was hooked. But then, when I asked him about his last relationship and when they stopped talking, he mentioned, last weekend, she hasn't contacted me because she's trying to fix things with her partner, and that's when I confronted her. After the confrontation, AP emailed my catfish account, crying about how mean she is and this and that, so I think he's done with her. I checked all her messages, emails, and everything. She never sent nudes or stuff like that. Also, based on the app, emails, and messages, I have a timeline of everything. They started talking as friends via the app in January. They started messaging for a week at the end of February. Then I caught her. 3 weeks later, she sent me to the couch, and 2 days after that, she started talking to him again. A few weeks later, she told him she would stop and then let me back. But then I found out everything, and here we are. No burner phones, as someone suggested.
No hidden apps.
We have been talking, and I'll admit I've been very hostile and angry, but she has been trying to fix things. I mean, I'm not hitting her, but I've said really horrible things, including about her father, and she could have even walked out of the room 70% of those times, and she never did once. Call me stupid, but I feel her trying, and I feel her old personality and stability coming back. I also want to end by saying I know the consensus is to leave her. Many suggested lawyering up and getting the fuck out of this. I'm trying to work through this because the person I married, I love. I don't know who the hell this person she became is, but there definitely was a personality shift after her father died. But whatever happened last week that made her stop talking to him and want to fix things and make up for things, I do see pieces of that old person again.